and welcome to another engaging session of Parenting Summit 2024. Today, we are delighted to have with us Dr. Neha Sharma, esteemed principal of GD Goenka Public School, Ghaziabad, UP. With a remarkable career in education and leadership, Dr. Sharma has been a strong advocate for equipping students with life skills that goes beyond academic, ensuring they are prepared for real-world challenges. Our discussion today centers on teaching financial literacy, budgeting, saving, and responsible spending. In today's fast paced world, financial literacy has become a crucial skill for young individuals. Teaching teens how to manage money responsibly is not just about numbers, it's about instilling discipline, foresight, and confidence in their financial decisions. Dr. Sharma will share her valuable insights on how school and parents can work together to help teens master these essential life skills. Welcome, Dr. Sharma, to Parenting Summit 2024. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, and it is indeed a delight for me to be here. And I hope I'll be able to share something which is of use and value to everyone attending this summit.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we start, may I request you to please briefly introduce yourself as our listeners and our parents would like to know a little bit more about you.
Okay, so as Mr. Shaju has already said, and as it comes written on the screen now, that I'm Dr. Neha Sharma, and I am currently working as principal at GD Goenka Public School, Ghaziabad, which is in Rajnagar Extension area.
Right.
Prior to that, I've worked with schools like DPS, Amity, and others.
Mhm.
Also, at the same time, I've been in government job as well. I was working as deputy secretary as my last assignment and head COE Delhi with Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE.
Mhm.
And at some point of time, I thought I should move back to my school domain, and I resigned and came back and joined the school system again. So, the reason I can say of this transition was that, the impact that you can make directly in the lives of students is immense. And if I'm able to touch even a child's life throughout my tenure as a teacher or a principal, I'll feel that I have lived a life which was worthy. So far for this, and yes, I can say that I am closely connected with my students. So even before financial literacy was a buzzword, we have had discussions around it amongst the students in my class, though I used to teach English. But yes, we used to discuss anything and everything under the sun with the students so that they are better equipped when they move out of the school to handle the challenges of the real world. So, yes,
Right. Right, ma'am. So your calling was teaching and you came back.
yes.
Very good. Beautiful, ma'am. So, ma'am, let's start. So first of all, let's try and understand why is financial literacy such an important skill for teenagers, and what are the key concepts they should learn during this stage?
Well, I think what I feel is financial literacy is not important just for students or for teenagers. It is important for everyone. But it's even more important for students because there are certain life skills which, if learned early, get you better benefit as compared to things which you start later in life. So
Hmm.
when we talk about finances, there is a rule of compounding. So
Mm.
compounding, if we start early, and that I'll share with you with a story later during the session to understand the importance of compounding, it gets you huge benefits at later stage. So, yes, the earlier you start, better will you be in times to come. Hence, it is important. We give piggy banks to kids. We give them this instruction early in the morning that Ferris enough, you are taking this money, but don't spend the whole of it. Save
Hmm.
some. So saving is something which we want our children to start early in life. And yes, this is one key component of financial literacy alongside with others. And I feel that, as I said before as well, that for teens it is even more important, because they understand the whole idea behind it. When they grow up as adults, they'll be more aware and financially better literate. And at the
Hmm.
same time, they'll be able to kind of do things or not do things which they should be or not should be doing when it comes to
Hmm.
handling their finances, their hard earned money.
Right, right. So, ma'am, as you rightly said, ki somewhere, whether consciously or unconsciously, we do start teaching our kids, from early age to save, right?
Right.
Which is the practice being seen across. So, ma'am, at what stage should parents and educators, start introducing financial literacy as a concept, and how can they tailor these, lessons to be an age appropriate?
So I think one thing which is very important here is to understand that right from the beginning, what happens, like the first lesson of financial literacy a child learns is as a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And how it happens is that as a toddler, the child or the toddler will demand certain things from the parents.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a parent who wants to just do anything and everything for your child, you will agree to every demand that is put forth you, and you'll get child whatever they desire.
Right.
Now, at that point of time, if you start checking with the child that, okay, is this something that you really need? Or is this something that you just want? It is just a desire. So, if the child starts understanding the difference between what is desired and what is required, that is the very first lesson of financial literacy. So, if you're able to differentiate as a child, as a toddler only, that fine. I have hundreds of other toys and I really don't, need this toy. It is just a desire of mine. That desire can be pushed till the time we really feel that no, 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 I really, really like this toy and I must have it. So, being able to stop, pause, think, and then buy a thing, if we are able to bring this whole idea of pausing and then going to buy a certain things, I think it works well. So,
Right.
it should be as early as possible.
So, ma'am, will it be safe to say that, it is not about introducing any formal concept or any formal process. It should be a practice throughout the childhood or till the teenager and all. We don't have to wait for a event or a particular, concept to be introduced. It could be as simple as you rightly said, making them evaluate their, needs, their
Needs and
correct.
wants.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The being able to differentiate between their needs and wants is very important.
Right. Right.
Yes.
So, ma'am, what are some common misconceptions or challenges that teens face when it comes to understanding money management? Have you come across any of such?
So, first thing first, the misconception that every child is having is that
Mm.
the money that I'm spending is not my money, it is that of my parents.
Okay. Yes. Yes. That is an important point, ma'am.
But they should understand that every penny that they are spending is coming from a corpus which is of their family, right? So if they
Mm-hmm.
are spending it wisely, it is great. But if they are
Mm-hmm.
just being spendthrift and if they are not thinking before they are spending, somehow they are losing their own money, right?
Mm.
even if
Very
they
important.
are Even if they are not slogging hard, it's their parents who are working to earn that money, yet it comes for a cost. So understanding the cost attached to that 1,000 rupee or a 10,000 rupee that they are just going out and spending, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where it all starts. The other
Right.
misconception that children have is that money is easy to earn. Well, it is
Mm,
not. You have
right.
to really, really put in your best effort to earn good money,
Mm-hmm.
right? And easy money goes as easily as it comes, is the third thing that they should keep in mind. That,
Mm-hmm.
you know, fine, easy money is okay, but then it won't stay with you either. So as we say
Right.
in Hindi, Lakshmi chanchala hoti hai. It has
Mm.
got feet, and
Fits, yes.
it never stays with one person or at one place. So keep that thing in mind and always make sure. So this was something which I was taught early in my life, that, you know, always remember that you have to kind of, at least save 20% of whatever you are earning. Though I took it very seriously, and I am at times spending only 20% and saving 80%, but that's not always possible. But yes, at the same time, it is always a good thing not to spend everything that you have in hand. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
great feeling if you are able to save something, when this
Mm-hmm.
saving it comes together, and you see a good amount in front of you. And there are
Mm.
times when these savings kind of you really save you.
Yes.
So then
Yes.
that is
Yes.
important. So
Mm-hmm.
the other misconception that children have is that, oh, it's okay, we spend everything, we have got enough money. That enough
Mm.
money will last you only till the time you respect it, to you take care of it. And it is also said that, if you keep pouring from a jug,
Mm.
there'll be a point when the jug will be empty if you don't refill it. So same
Right.
goes for money. If you don't kind of, put in efforts to refill it, or
Mm-hmm.
if you're pouring faster than it can be refilled, then
Mm-hmm.
again there'll be an imbalance. So avoid imbalances, and that is something which is very, very important.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, moving on, what initiatives or programs does GD Goenka Public School have in place to study students about, budgeting, saving, responsible spending?
Right. So there are few things. Of course, our commerce department conducts sessions for the children right from the early classes about how they can spend. We start with this concept of needs and wants, and then after that, how to save, which are the ways the children can save. We don't just talk about the big things, the FDs and mutual funds and things like that. We talk
Hmm.
about small savings as well, and making sure that they know how to handle the checkbooks, how to handle their online money transfer, and
Hmm.
also talking about how can they identify between a genuine message or a mail or a spam or a thing which is like going to really be difficult for them to handle later. It can lead to financial
Financial
losses and
frauds
things
and all.
like that,
Yes, spam
financial
mails.
frauds and all. We invite people from banking sector to come and do session for our teachers as well as students. And we also kind of, invite parents to take up sessions about what works well when it comes to saving and making sure that you respect your money, you take care of it, and things
Right,
like that. Yeah.
right, right. Very important, man.
And
So,
yes,
ma'am, sorry.
sorry, I missed on one thing. We also make our children participate in financial olympiads. So there are certain
Oh.
olympiads that are happening these days.
Hmm.
So we, you know, I mean, tell them about those Olympiads also, and many students participate in.
Participate. Very good. Very good, ma'am. Very good. So, ma'am, what steps can parents take at home to help these teens, or their teens develop responsible financial habits such as budgeting and saving? If we specifically talk about teens, how to, because, when they are small, we do, whatever they ask for. But when they are teens, we can definitely, intervene. What parents can do to train them or educate them around budgeting and saving.
Okay, so I think we should act like banks when it comes to
Okay.
parenting.
Hmm.
So, if you have account in say XYZ bank,
Hmm.
ABC bank won't give you money, right?
Right.
So, you should have an account with one of your parents.
Okay.
That is either with your mother or with your father. And the mother and father must have this clear understanding that if a child needs money, they'll go to the mother or the father, whosoever is holding that account, banking
Account. Hmm.
account for that child. Now, the purpose why this is that now this parent becomes responsible to check as to how much money the child is taking. Then it becomes a common familial responsibility to have this conversation or communication around that. Okay,
Hmm.
if you are asking for whatever amount you are asking for, you should make a note as to where all you are spending it. Even better
Okay.
that before asking the amount, they be able to give a proposed budget. That fine, I need say 1,000 rupee and I need this money to buy these things, and these things
Hmm.
will be estimated at this cost. So the child is able to understand that fine, I am taking say 800 rupees to buy certain specific things, and
Hmm.
200 is my contingency fund, so that if I'm able to spend, great. If not, at least I can think of saving those 200 after whatever I have to buy, I have bought.
Hmm.
The other benefit is that, if you set clear rules of expenditure and spending at home, the
Hmm.
child knows that, money is to be respected. You just cannot simply take two notes of 500, go out and spend at your leisure and come back and come back next day and say, oh, I need 500 more. So if you are
Hmm.
spending the money, you should have in at the back of your mind that fine, if this is the amount that I am getting, then these are the things that I have to spend it for. And
Hmm.
there should be clear, I mean, an honesty. So if the child is coming to you and saying that I have to buy this book or I have to buy this notebook, you just don't have to let the child take the money and not check later at any point that whether that book was bought or
Hmm.
where that money was spent. Usually, what we do as parents is that we give them money to kind of, buy something which the child needs. But most
Hmm.
of the time, it happens that that thing is not purchased and that money
Hmm.
is spent on some other things, maybe giving a treat to the
Right.
friends. So,
Right.
whatever, if you have to give treat to your friends also, that also you should be telling very honestly that, oh, I
Right.
need this money because I've promised my friends that I'm going to give them a treat. So, this
Right.
honesty is very important. The child should not feel scared of the fact that if I'm asking thing for enjoyment, if I'm asking some amount for enjoyment, my parents won't give. So, because
Hmm.
if the child is scared of this whole idea that if I ask money for spending with my friends and buying something that I fancy, then they will tell lies. And if
Right.
they tell lies, they may even steal at some point of time. So,
Right.
monitoring that where the money is being spent is very important. And if
Hmm.
once in a while the child falters, also, if they spend at a place which they have not asked for or something like that, have a conversation with them. Ask them that,
Hmm.
okay, why did you do so? And if you have done this, do you think this needs to be corrected? So, ask open ended questions instead of simply reprimanding them and telling them, go sit in the corner and yeah, I'm not giving you any money for next 1 week or whatsoever. So
Right, right.
these are the few things if we
No, very,
do
very
and
important. Yeah, it's very important, ma'am. One, you said you need to have a budget. It could be a monthly budget, it could be a
right.
quarterly budget or whatever, but there has to be a budget,
Perfect.
and then there has to be an accountability, and there has to be an audit, or in terms of, checking whether that amount was exactly spent on what they have asked for or budgeted for, which also gives them, an opportunity to be, you know,
Sense
to
of
ensure that,
responsibility also.
yes, yes, that is there. And in case there is a default, have an open communication instead of trying to just, scold them. Give them reasons, understand from them why they did, so that that trust continues. As you rightly said, that it could end
Absolutely.
up stealing, because they are kids, they don't know exactly, you know, so they will find ways to get money. So that should not be an illegal or a wrong way. Very true, ma'am. Ma'am, moving on, how can parents model financial responsibilities in their own behavior to inspire their teens to adopt similar practice? We all say
First
that
thing
parents
first,
are the first role model. So
right.
what can we do as a parent?
So first thing first, they should remove all or as many as possible the apps, the shopping apps from their mobile. I think that's where it should start. Then
Okay.
the second thing is stop following the influencers on Instagram and YouTube and various other social media channels because, they give us ideas which we are not even aware of, right? They'll create
Hmm.
that need which
Hmm.
actually is not the need. It is more of a desire which is kind of looking like a need for it. It has masked itself as a need, but it is not actually a need. So what is very important for us is that it is like very important here that we do what we want our children to follow. Now, if
Right.
I am getting every day 10 parcels from Amazon, how can I stop my daughter doing shopping from Nika and whatever? I mean, they have more ways. We may get stuck to one app or one online shopping platform, but they
True,
have
true.
a variety, some Agio, some this, some that. So if I'm getting 10 parcels for myself, the child will surely get at least 12, right? They just don't want to kind of and then what is also very important is that I think it's very much not required that you borrow to have a lavish lifestyle. Live within your means. Don't be too much into taking loans if you feel just because, of course, if it is a requirement, if you need a study loan or a house loan or a loan that is really, really required, then
Hmm.
that's a different thing. But don't get into this whole idea of taking loans for every small little thing or every desire that you may have. If you have to
Hmm.
buy a car and if your budget is of 10,000, 10 lakhs, then nobody is asking you to go for a 20 lakh car on a hefty loan. Live
Hmm.
within your means. So if your child will see you that yes, you are living within your means, you are spending only as much as you can and not overdoing it, that's one very important lesson that the child learns. Two,
Right.
they should be aware of the savings that you are doing. I mean, they should be knowing about they should have an idea of mutual funds, of shares, of buying, how to buy a property, how to even open a bank account and create an FD, the PF, the PPF thing, the pension
Mm.
schemes, and things like that. So
Right.
there should be open discussions in the home when you are doing maybe a lunch or a breakfast or a dinner together
Hmm.
about financial savings as well, so that there's a lot that the child learns when the parents are discussing about, okay, today, we have invested in this particular thing, and this is the gain that we are going to get after these many years. So these kind of conversations should be common conversations on the lunch table or a dinner table, instead of
Right.
just a hush hush conversation sitting in a corner between the parents only. So the child
Mhm.
should be made part of all these things, and as they grow to, as they grow up, they should also be knowing exactly that where all and what all they have to understand are the family assets and savings placed.
Right, right.
Because one thing which is very important, which I've seen during COVID, many families have faced this, that people died all of a sudden, they lost their lives, and the family members were not even aware of
Mhm.
where they have done their savings, what are the
Mhm.
details of their bank accounts. So,
Mhm.
keeping a track of all these things about your bank accounts, your savings, your other assets, and your family members
Yes.
knowing about it is very
Mhm.
important. So, this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
what
So that's,
the
yeah,
family.
that's one part of it. But the more important part, which you said, is like it is perfectly fine to have a conversation with your teen about your family income, about your savings. They will learn only the process, right? There is no
Right,
harm in discussing, and
right,
it is not that you have to keep it secret, or you feel that teens are not. It's not the right time, or you don't have need to know. The more they
right.
know, the more they will understand in terms of how important is money in our life, and how important it is to, or how difficult or how easy, whatever way, is
Get
to
their,
earn that,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
having
get
that conversation is important, and there is nothing wrong in doing that.
and get their saving accounts opened as early as possible.
Hmm.
You can do it
Let
under
them also,
guardianship.
yeah,
Yes, let them
let
visit the
them also
bank.
save and see, that money grows. And
Right.
you rightly said in the beginning that compounding effect, it is
True.
a magic. It is the eighth
It is
wonder,
the
if we
magic.
talk about, yeah.
Right.
So if you invest, as early as possible, you can really get benefit out of it,
Very
right,
true.
ma'am? Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening insight on teaching financial literacy to teenagers. Your guidance has highlighted the crucial and the critical role that both school and parents play in preparing teens to manage their your finances wisely, and make informed decision for a secure future. To all the parents listening, I remember that teaching financial literacy is not just about handling money. It's about empowering your teen to plan, prioritize, and take responsibilities for their lives. By introducing these concepts early and modeling sound financial practices, you can help them build a foundation for lifelong success. Thank you for joining for this valuable conversation. Stay tuned for more impactful sessions at the Parenting Summit 2024 as we continue to explore to nurture confidence and capable teens. Together, let's shape a brighter future for our youth. Dr. Neha Sharma, thanks a lot for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.